of a wreck, but it's just funny. They did a. I felt bad. I've been watching it kind of regularly for the last couple of weeks, and 2 or 3 nights ago, I was watching an episode with the guy that's the main host is Australian, Alan Hills or whatever his name is, Adam Hills, and they go to Australia, and he wants everybody to jump in a single-engine plane and fly over Uluru. And the one guy that's able-bodied, he flat out refused to do it at all. He's afraid of flying in the first place, and single-engine plane that was never going to happen. And then the other guy, he gets into the plane and is trying to talk himself into it. And the Australian cat is the thing he said that really fucked it up was something about the fact that if you're not going to do this, I didn't realize you were that big of a pussy. Okay. And the guy just lost his shit. He didn't get mad. He just that was a step too far. He had this handicapped friend of his that was telling him the same shit that he took when he was a kid, and he wasn't prepared for it. He was like, how does it make me less of a man if I don't want to do something like this? I don't understand it. It's the same bullshit I went through when I was little, and I get it. And they did a really good job of editing it, because they show him walking away from the tarmac, and he's obviously wiping tears from his eyes, and the host, the guy that had made the comment, is doing the voiceover, and he says, I had officially gone too far.
Oh, jeez.
And I didn't lose it at that point, but I was like, oh, man, I know exactly how that feels when you say something to somebody you really care about. I didn't lose that at that point, but you didn't recognize before you said it was going to be really fucking hurtful, and it was. I'm kind of famous for doing shit like that, and I was like, how fucking soul-crushing for everybody.
Happy days,
but
man.
Then the two guys that didn't take off, they start talking shit about the other guy, and all is well.
Oh, good.
But it was just that I had gone too far. I was like, oh, fuck, dude, you really had. You called the man a pussy. Okay. And he made the comment that, he had, when he was a kid, he went through all these different surgeries that he knew were going to be painful and scary, but in the long run, they were going to make his life easier. And he said, that's fear. That's the kind of fear I can deal with. This fear is unnecessary. There's no reason for me to do it. There's no reason for me to be afraid just to prove a point. And he's right. I mean, I probably would have called the guy a pussy too, but he's right. But it was just really touching from these guys that are otherwise just making cripple jokes all the fucking time.
Oh, we are on Twitch, by the way, Artma, so keep the swearing to a minimum.
Am I still allowed to say cripple?
I have no idea, man.
Oh, man. I get cramps. The drugs that I take for my heart really make body cramps.
Yeah, I have a friend that's just going through all of that stuff, so, I know that sort of stuff fucking sucks donkey balls, man.
Well, it's there's a supplement called CoQ10 that replaces the enzyme that the drug strips out of your system that will keep you from cramping. And I keep having to take more and more of that enzyme, and I'm not changing the amount of the other drug that I'm taking. I don't understand what the fuck's going on. But...
Joyous stuff.
And even after a day when I don't take it, I have cramping. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't know. I'm obviously not doing my body any favors.
Well, considering this is a gaming stream, Armus, what was the last game you actually played?
The last game that I played that I was any good at was Tiger Woods.
Oh, what, one of the PGA Tour games?
Yeah.
Jeez, man, that's ancient, dude.
Yeah, this was like 2000.
It's like back when Tiger Woods was actually relevant.
Yeah, it was 2006, 2008, somewhere in there. That was the last time I even had a console. After I moved out of the house I was in when I was playing that game, I haven't played a video game since. Except on my phone. Those count?
Well, yeah, technically. I'll give you this one.
Yeah, there's a couple of games that I play on my phone, but even those aren't. Like, what was the Fallout Shelter? I played that.
Oh my golden Bennett.
You've been seen.
I played that and maxed it out within like 3 weeks. Like, well, this is no fun anymore.
That's kind of easy to do with Fallout Shelter. It's just like there's only so much you can like just get yourself killed, and like all your settlers killed.
It's this close to being a really good game. It's clever and fun, and for somebody who that was my introduction to Fallout. I literally knew jack about Fallout, and that was my introduction to it. And then I found Game Society Pimps. And they've got like 16 hours of Fallout videos. In fact, 8 hours of my memory on my phone is eaten up by one season of them playing Fallout 4, I think. And then I started following a guy who does Fallout lore.
Oh yeah.
Osborne, I think he's called
Osborne. Yeah, I've been looking through like a lot of his stuff, mod things, because I've just bought Fallout 4 on Steam because it was like on a massive sale. Yeah, I've kind of gone through all his like lore history and shit like that as well, just so I'm a bit more prepared for when I'm playing it.
Yeah, he has tutorial videos along with his lore videos. I don't watch the tutorial videos because I don't play it, but I've sat through a few of them just because it came up on YouTube.
Mm.
But he's I don't know how many different he's got. When he does a video, he'll say, "Well, I'm playing this section of this game with my whatever character."
Oh yeah, he's got different builds for things.
Yeah, he's got like 6 or 8 different characters that he bases different saves or whole worlds on. And he makes a video 6 days a week.
Yeah, I couldn't do that shit, man. That's just too much.
The fact that he sounds like he's reading a radio script, and he does one every day. It's impressive.
Yeah, I was thinking he should have been like on a 1950s fucking radio show or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a couple of words that he insists upon mispronouncing, but
yeah, like dilapidated. Oh, that annoys the fuck out of me. That really does piss me off.
I actually had to look it up because he's not the only person that I heard use it that way or pronounce it that way. I'm like, that is not the way that word is spelled.
That's a very strange way of doing it. I mean, like, extremely strange way of pronouncing it.
All the words that he mispronounces, he mispronounces in a weird way. And it's words that would otherwise, you know, are kind of conventionally pronounced wrong. And like, I'm one of the people. I'm a person that I'm way too educated to say the word nuclear, but I keep friggin' doing it. And that's, you know, that's not the kind. That's, you know, that's what I mean by when I say there are common ways for words to be mispronounced, and that's not the way he mispronounces words.
Yeah.
He has a really weird. I don't know if it's like a reading disability thing that he's always struggled with, or if I have never heard somebody say dilapidated, and that's the only way he says it.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like each to their own. Oh, you might need to put some earphones in, Armus.
For a guy that is so eloquent, it's just funny to hear him mispronunciate a word. And then for him to do it,
you motherfucker.
Didn't you tell me to watch my mouth?
Sorry. I'm probably going to be banned off Twitch for my first ever goddamn freaking My first ever stream, yeah. Yeah, I should really watch my mouth, but you know, if I lose my Twitch account, it's not much of a thing, you know. I'm not gonna cry over it.
Right.
You know. Are you watching the stream at the moment, mate, and watching my crappy gameplay?
No, but I'm about to.
I suck.
One of my atheist Twitter buddies got at least a 7-day suspension from Twitter.
Jeez, man.
And he's... Oh, wait, you might have been on the stream that we did with him. Shit. What the hell's his name? Amadeus.
I probably might have been, but I can't be too sure to tell you the truth. We've been on streams with so many people now. How the hell do I get out from here?
Oh shit, I can't even find what the hell I was looking at. Oh, there it is. Amadeus Almighty.
Yeah, rings a bell.
It's the only black guy I've ever streamed with, so sadly that's the way I would have to delineate who he is or how you might remember who he was.
Marines inbound.
Yeah, I can't remember if you were on that. You might not have been because it was kind of an atheist-oriented thing, and that's not exactly one of your major interests.
I've kind of gone through the stages of atheism where I'm at the very end, where it just doesn't, just stuff like that just doesn't faze me anymore.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have the benefit of living in a country where it doesn't really matter.
We've been locked out. Let's override the security.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in England, we just don't care anymore.
Where I live in Pence country, it's a bigger issue than it is anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
Except for like Georgia, which I don't think counts.
Override complete. Move on.
Yeah, the whole religious situation in America's always been screwed up and a bit strange to me, but yeah, I suppose I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. How a country that allows Scientology and some other weird stuff, so it doesn't quite make sense, but then again, it's America, nothing makes sense over there.
Oh yeah, there's a Church of Cannabis in Indianapolis, which of all places for there to be one of those, you would not have guessed it was going to be in Indianapolis. But he has... he qualifies for his tax-free status as a church and all that good stuff. Just an old pothead with some... I think he holds services in his garage or something. He makes a point of making sure that nobody smokes weed at the services. Because you can't give this state an excuse to take away your freedom of religion.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially if you don't have one that's Christian. This state is really, really fond of Christianity and nobody else's religion.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things, you know.
Okay, why don't I have you? What's your Twitch handle?
Oh, it's the same as here.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
Now, where am I supposed to go? I need to up my bow game.
Now I gotta sit through an ad just so I can see us.
Oh yeah, I hate those goddamn. It's like whenever I'm streaming Jester's channel, it's just like that fucking that ad comes up and it drives me mad.
I get so annoyed because now that I've had YouTube Red for, I don't know, going on 2 years, so I'm used to watching YouTube without commercials. And then if I'll go to somebody's website to watch something.
Oh, I'm out of ammo. That's never happened to me before.
I went to the AMC website to watch a TV show. And it starts with one 30-second ad, and then it does the first segment that leads into the first commercial on TV. And that first commercial break, they run 2 commercials for a total of 1.5 minutes. And then the next commercial break is 3 commercials for 2.5 minutes. And then the next commercial, by the end of the show, there were 6 minutes of ads to watch the last segment.
Jeez.
You can't even do that on broadcast TV. I don't understand how they think they can get away with it online. It's illegal to do that on broadcast TV.
It sounds like Crunchyroll. It's like every time I've watched stuff on there, you know, because it's you know, if you don't have a subscription, then you gotta watch the ads, and it gets up to about 12 minutes worth of ads. And it's like, what the fuck are you people playing at?
Yeah, I just think give me the answer to the option to pay for it, or at least, I don't know. You can't even skip the ads. It's not like they play for 5 seconds and you can hit skip. You got to watch the whole damn thing.
No, definitely, man.
I don't do that on TV. Why the hell would I do it for you?
Yeah, eventually we'll have to get you playing proper games, Artemis. You know, just get you on some Warframe.
I'm kind of afraid to, man. I have such an addictive personality and so much time on my hands.
Well, this is the thing. Is like, yeah, with this, it can kind of take over your life if you let it. But you know,
I probably would.
Yeah, I've got bugger all else to do. So yeah, Warframe for me is like everything. You know. But yeah, I want to try and do some more gaming streams in future, just because, you know, sometimes when I just don't have anything to do, then I'd rather be doing something than nothing.
Right.
There's only so many anime boobies you can draw in one day, you know. You know.
Are there? Are there though?
Not really, no.
There's always one more.
Yeah, there's always a boobie left to draw. Always.
So long as there's lead in your pencil, there are boobies to be drawn.
Well, in both, yeah, in both senses of the word, mate.
Yeah, I know. I kind of used that reference on purpose.
What we need to do is get you a fucking green screen so I can actually match you into my scene on the stream, man. Yeah. But yeah, I think I need to check out my dojo.
Is there like a specific shade of green that a green screen has to be?
No, just needs to be green.
Operator, I run diagnostic regression.
You can pick up what is it? You can pick up a good set off of eBay for me it was like less than 30 quid. So for you guys it must be, you know.
So it might be $30.
Yeah. Even less. All you need is sort of the felt you get for poker tables and from snooker tables. That's the sort of green. That's all you need. Anything of that shade, and you're alright.
I'll next time I go fabric shopping with my mom, which actually friggin' happens.
Fair enough. Yeah, if you
want. My mom is a quilter, and I'm the artsy kid. I'm the one that had the art scholarship, so she actually, it's gotten to the point where if she can't buy it online, we have to drive about 45 minutes north of here into the real Amish country to hit the quilting stores. Yeah. And then she wants my input on what patterns and should I buy this roll or should I buy that roll, and does this match that? But she was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Have I ever showed you the quilt that she made me?
Oh yeah, I think I did.
But eventually, when the Christmas tree goes, I'm gonna hang it on that wall, which using a green screen would kind of ruin that. But I'm gonna hang it on that wall because it's the only wall in this room that's big enough to hang it.
Mm.
And I think it would help me with sound a little bit to have a heavy piece of fabric covering the biggest expansive wall in the room. Not that having sound retardant behind me makes much sense, but it doesn't do me any good to hang it here because nobody but me could see it. And...
Well, this is the thing. If you got if you buy the green screen set off of eBay or Amazon or wherever you want to buy it, it actually comes with a frame.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, it comes with like 2 uprights and a crossbar, and a couple of little sort of crocodile clip sort of things. Oh,
right.
Yeah. Have you? Yeah, if you're looking at the stream, this is what me and Nuki built with a bunch of other people. It's like an inane dragon, Riley's Adam's apple, and a few other people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Scotch Bunny created the Bacon Reapers logo, which we have now in the clan and on my character.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but had to pay through the nose to get it, but yeah, it's well worth it. It's the first time I've properly done an in-game purchase. Yeah, normally I would never pay in-game money. It's just just does my head in, you know. But oh, that's something. Just waiting for Toya to be on in the stream or on the chat. You know, I've been promising that I would stream for ages, but last time I couldn't just because things got in the way. But yeah, did send a message to Toya. Oh, wait a minute.
Jeez. Yeah, I can get one with 400 watt lighting kit, which is 2 lights and a stand and a carrying case to put the stand and the lights in for $90.
That's not too bad, to the truth, man. So I paid £100 just for my professional lighting rig. You know, that was enough.
Yeah, these are only 400 watt, but still.
Oh, my greater hall needs one more former, and I don't have one. Bum!
Again. What is that? Ooh, wait. No, that's going to be way too bright for this little room.
Well, those things normally come with, the bulbs you can change out, so you should be alright.
Yeah.
You know, because normally they come with, like, the sort of, like, photographer's lights. So...
Jeez. This is like studio in a box. It's $140. You get
there's a
2,000 watt lighting
available.
kit, which
Check
is
navigation.
oh wait, okay, I'm just gonna read this. Fancier studio 2,000 watt lighting kit with 10 foot by 12 foot chroma key green screen and 3 softbox lights.
Operator.
One with a boom arm
Covered in blood. Safe and sound.
for studio photography and video lighting. That whole kit, including the carrying case for all of it, $140.
It's not too bad.
Shit, no, it isn't. It's almost cheaper than I could make it.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm confident that it is cheaper than I could make it because just the stands for 2 of the 3 lights, not including the boom light, I would have to buy a collapsible music stand just to be able to achieve the stand.
Yeah.
And those are $35 a piece.
See, YouTube
Plus,
does...
I would still have to come up with the boxes and the soft light. And that doesn't include the 3rd boom light, the screen, Yeah, if I ever talk myself into getting back into making damn videos.
I will have to make some myself at some point or another. It's just a matter of time.
I tried to get Dave to make videos with me, but I think I was being a little too subtle, and he didn't pick up the hint. I kind of needed somebody to help propel me along and keep me motivated in doing.
I don't think he does settle very well.
Well, not that he would be particularly good at it, because I watched his. Have you ever seen his video about his about the women in his life?
I haven't actually watched any of his videos so far.
He's got two that are great. The first one is about poisoning the well being gay, and then the other one is a gut-wrenching story about his love life that he and his wife, his current wife, produced, and it talks about his ex or his wife's suicide and his other ex-wife. And it's
going.
gut-wrenching and emotional. It's really good. And I had thought that I would write a script that followed that, and then I realized that I couldn't. I tried. I kept trying. And every time I sat down to do it, I was just a basket case. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know if he could have done that video if he hadn't been married to the woman he married. Not just because she was willing to participate, but because it's a lot to put yourself through, to go through reliving the heartaches of your life, and for his to have been as kind of horrific as they were, being that much, making it that much worse. You know, his idiot son's mom committed suicide.
Jeez.
So it's kind of fun for me to continue to call him his idiot son, even though the kid is obviously brilliant and funny as shit. But I don't have any friends whose kids I don't make fun of, so. He sent me a picture of his son. I was still in the hospital from the second heart attack, and he sent me a picture of his son after his kid had, after his heart attack, had gone and taken all of the sticker things off for the EKG and stuck them all over himself.
Okay.
And then he made kind of a death face with his tongue out and his eyes crossed, and just, you know, just an idiot thing, but he's just giving his dad shit for having a heart attack. I haven't had to live through a scare of either of my parents going through anything. Even my mom's breast cancer wasn't particularly scary for me.
Yeah, I've had some...
I kind of knew Mom was going to be okay.
Yeah, I've had some scares with my dad recently, just because he's given up smoking and it hasn't worked out well for him, especially on his lungs, because he's been smoking all his life and he's well into his 70s.
Oh, I didn't realize your dad was the same age as my parents.
My dad is old.
Are you an oops baby? Are you an oops baby?
No, well, considering I've got a brother and a sister, I hope not. Yeah.
Well, in this country, an oops baby is one of those that comes along late in life. Like,
no, I don't know if I was planned or not, and quite frankly, I don't want to even think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom was here earlier today. She came over. She sent me a text at 8:15 this morning. She said, "I'm gonna come over and help you clean your house," which means Mom's coming over and cleaning my house, part of my house. She wanted to go into my bedroom. I'm like, woman, you are not going into my bedroom. There's at least 8 reasons why you should never be in my bedroom. She's talking about my dad, and my dad is continuing to lose his shit. And this week it was, they live in it's a 2-story condo, but the upstairs is just Mom's crack camera. There's a TV and shit up there, but it's full of sewing machines and tables for quilting, and that's all there is of it.
Doors are locked.
And my dad keeps referring to the bedroom as being upstairs. And I've lived in this house now 2 years, November, and there are no upstairs bedrooms in that house. But now he's gotten to the point where he's referring to the upstairs as being a bedroom. It's really... It's weird watching somebody lose their mind.
That's something I don't think I could stand watching.
Yeah, I'm better off with schizophrenic than I am with somebody who's just losing their shit. And then he gets mad. Constantly he's mad because he doesn't understand shit, so he gets frustrated, and when he's frustrated he gets mad. Which I inherited. But he's just constantly pissed off. Because he's always confused.
Yeah.
And Mom said that she was going to come over today and she was going to help take my mind off of things by coming to my house. She's like, I think you need a distraction. My mom is the queen of projection. She said, I think you need a distraction, so I'm going to come over and help you clean your house. So I'm like, all right. I said, I've got plans to go over to a friend's house this afternoon. And she says, that's fine. I don't mind if you leave. I was like, wait a minute. Wasn't this about me having a fucking distraction?
Breach complete. We're free to proceed.
Like, I get it. We're open enough that you can just say, I need to get away from your dad. Can I come over and maybe clean your kitchen? Sure, Mom, that's cool. Don't tell me you're doing this for me. You're not. You're just doing it to get out of the damn house. She did like 3 dishes, and my kitchen wasn't exactly spotless, but my kitchen was clean. And so she did like 3 dishes, and she cleaned off my kitchen table, which was cluttered. And then we sat down in the living room and talked for about an hour and a half. And that was the extent of me being distracted. Which is fine. And I'm so dizzy. And that's one of the other things that I had yet to quite figure out as to whether or not my being dizzy is from low blood pressure or high blood pressure. But I get so dizzy sometimes that I have trouble walking through my own damn house.
That's
and
joyous.
Today is one of those days. So I figured if I was going to be dizzy and hard to walk anyway, I might as well be drunk.
Good philosophy.
I'll start drinking this red wine and hopefully it'll lower my blood pressure and my cholesterol. Although this wine isn't very good.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
Costco makes better wine. That's a...
It's one of the many things I cannot stand.
Wine?
Yeah. Just cannot get a taste for it. Don't like it whatsoever. Ugh.
It's definitely something that I didn't start to enjoy any of until I was in my 40s.
I suppose that's when you start losing your taste buds and shit.
Well, I've been smoking since I was 16. I lost my taste buds a long time ago. Although, I still can't stand to drink cheap beer.
I've gone through my beer phase in my youth. I ain't gonna go through that again.
Yeah, I decided that as much as I drink and as much as I enjoy drinking, I can't start drinking liquor. I'd kill myself.
Yeah. That can be a slippery slope down to smeg.
Yeah. I'm pretty good about I can buy a big bottle of vodka and I can hit it occasionally and not go through it. Wine, as it turns out. I'll drink this whole bottle today, probably. But it's $9 worth of liquor for the whole day.
That's so good, man.
Yeah, it's even the cheapest beer that I'm willing to drink.
We've been locked out. Let's
isn't
override the
dramatically
security.
cheaper than that. And the cheapest beer I'm willing to drink is $11 a case. And in this country, that's about $7 less than virtually any other cheap beer. It's another Costco product. I was talking to Tanuki about it. They changed their brewer, and the new cans, or the cans coming out of the new brewery have a really obnoxious chemical smell that even dish soap and soaking it doesn't get rid of. I can't drink it out of the can because the can stinks so bad.
Oh, happy days.
It actually makes me gag to put my nose up to the can, even after I've washed the thing.
No spank you.
The beer's not bad, as long as I put it in the glass.
I will be back in 2 minutes.
Alright.
Just gonna... 1 second.
No, you're not. Open. Jordan. He and Shorty are getting along really well.
It's all good, man.
Early last week, we had nice weather, and I let the dogs outside for like 4 hours. And they came inside with a completely different relationship. And it was nice the next day, so I left them outside for like 7 hours total throughout the day. Just I figured if their relationship's gonna get better without me being around,
Ordis has been counting stars.
Go.
Operator. All accounted for.
And then let's see, today's Saturday. It must have been Wednesday. The dogs had been outside for a couple of hours, and I went to the door to call them in, and she came to the door with a tennis ball in her mouth, which I had never seen her do before, ever. The only time I've ever seen her with a tennis ball in her mouth, she was bringing it to me so I could throw it. And
Happy days.
as soon as she walked up to the house, she dropped the tennis ball because she's not allowed to bring the ball in the house. And then Eddie came up behind her, and he had a stick in his mouth, and he dropped it before he came in the house. So you guys been outside playing?
Yeah.
And then they snuggled that night. He fell asleep with his head on her hips. And they've been getting along ever since. She's still setting boundaries. She'll still occasionally smile at him because he's such a clod. He to get attention, he has this thing where he throws an arm, and his arms are like, I don't know, 3.5 feet long. So there's some weight behind it, and he'll be laying with her, and he'll roll over and go to put a paw out just to say howdy, and then he smacks her in the face. And that doesn't go over very well, but you're very sweet. Okay, easy, Dragon Tail. Good boy. Good boy. You're such a good dog. Want me to beat you? You want to beat him? Mom likes him. He can't go to their house because Shorty is too big.
Oh, yeah.
And he's, half again as tall as she is, so there's no way Dad would tolerate him being around. He doesn't like it when she runs through his house. Dad,
Oh, happy days.
she's 35 pounds. She's just playing with your dog. All right. And he yells. And he can't do that to him. If my dad yells at him, he's going to pee himself. He just does. He's a very well-behaved dog. who has suffered some emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Can't touch him when he's eating, or he pees himself. You can't push him to get him to go someplace. You have to
there is a large platoon
just
of
kind of
Marine
throw a knee into him a little
no
bit
one
and get him to
standing.
move in that direction. You can't push. Push back.
Yeah, it sounds like he's been a bit abused by the sounds.
Yeah, I'm confident that he has. In fact, I'm even more confident that it was a woman in the house that was abusing him. The day that Shorty and I met him at the pound, we're in a great big room, and the two of them are just kind of wandering around, and he got a little too pushy with her, and she turned around and barked at him. Not aggressive, she's just like, hey, that's enough. And that little Eddie ran a good 30 feet to jump into my lap to get away from her.
Jeez.
And I thought, okay, there were two women in that room that he had known longer than me. They were both caretakers at the pound, so he was more familiar with both of them. He ran right past both of them to jump into a stranger's lap, and I think it was because I'm a guy. Because otherwise, that doesn't make any damn sense to me at all. That a dog would jump to a stranger instead of either of the two people that it knows.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit strange.
But yeah, you touch him while he's eating and he pees. And that's just... That just means you jacked with your dog about food, and that should make me mad. You were jacking with your dog while I was eating. Way to go.
It's one of the things you just shouldn't do when it comes to dogs and shit like that, is fuck when they're eating and stuff.
Yeah, it's and the thing is that the only reason you would mess with the dog while it's eating is to train the dog that the food in this bowl is yours. The food in this bowl is not yours.
Yeah, to stop it from sort of growling. Yeah.
And he doesn't know that. There's nothing in his mind that makes him think that's her bowl, this is my bowl. So whatever the trauma was to begin with had nothing to do with teaching him to stay out of anybody else's food.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what it was about.
I think dogs can sort of pick up all sorts of weird kind of habits when when there's abuse and shit going on.
Well, he's really well mannered. He's been trained, but when I got him, he would still bite my hands like a puppy, not viciously.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the first things you teach a dog, and it's one of the easiest things to do. And when he comes in the house, he sits. I didn't teach him to do that. Somebody taught him that when he came in the house, he was supposed to sit at their feet. So somebody has taken the time to train the dog, but didn't train it to not bite, and somehow jacked up the dog when it comes to food.
Yeah, that just seems extremely weird.
I think what they were doing was putting the food down in front of the dog, and then trying to pull it away, and if the dog, which would be what he would do, would be to stick his nose further into the bowl to keep you from taking it. He would get hit for not letting them take the bowl, even though he wasn't being aggressive. He was just trying to keep eating as you pulled the bowl away. I have to believe that's where that came from, because I have no idea why else he would be freaked out by being touched while he eating.
That just... Oh.
The fact that he's so afraid that he pisses himself just... makes me very angry. Jack with a dog and its food. It's like... Oh, okay, here's exactly what it's like. My mom and I talked about it this morning. My oldest niece is 19. She's a sophomore in college. She has to ask her mother if it's okay to have a cookie.
That's a bit fucked up.
They spotted you.
But, yeah, that just seems incredibly strange.
It is incredibly strange. Yeah. She's a friggin' adult, and she's studying neuropsychology.
Successfully hacked. The location is returning to normal security levels.
She's debating as to whether or not she will go into neuropsychology or just go ahead and finish her pre-med degree and become a neurosurgeon. She's like that level of education. And apparently I had to read this story for today. Apparently she had some presentation in a class. And she gave the presentation, and then somebody in her class
the enemy is broken.
Confronted her conclusions.
Now get to extraction.
And at some point during that class, my niece passed out.
Okay.
The doctor said it might have been dehydration, but the fact that it's even part of the story that she was confronted about her conclusion by another student makes it far more likely that that little girl passed out because she was confronted. Her ideas were challenged.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody who's 19 years old and has to say, "Mommy, can I have a cookie?"
Yeah, that just, yeah.
And my brother is a screaming piece of shit. My brother is a huge part of why I am the person I am today. And while maybe in the grander scheme of things I can't deal with huge issues, day-to-day stuff, I can handle that all day, every day. And I have a niece who can't deal with somebody just saying, "I think you're wrong."
Yeah, that just seems yeah.
How the hell did my brother have a hand in raising this kid? She's brilliant. And my brother is an ass who does nothing but challenge people's preconceived notions. And he has a daughter that can't even tolerate having her thoughts questioned.
Yeah.
I told my mom.
Respond to that stage.
I told my mom like
a bit weird.
Years ago. I said, "Be ready for your granddaughter to have blue hair before you do."
Blimey.
And then her little sister, my other niece, obviously. My brother forces her to go to the YMCA to remain active so that she doesn't gain weight.
Right.
So you're raising a daughter, a kid, period, it doesn't matter, that is almost inevitably going to just get huge when she gets free of having to ask for food or being forced to go exercise. She's just going to get huge because she's on her own and she gets to make her own decisions finally, and they're going to all be bad.
Well, this is part of, that's the thing when you're growing up. It's part of learning that you kind of let people, your kids fail a bit as well, just so they can see what it's like.
It's not my brother. It's not my brother's doing necessarily. It has a lot to do with my sister-in-law, who comes from a shitload of money. And so
I've been thinking, operator.
People say that if they wish they were rich because they wouldn't have anything to worry about. Shut up. Because her parents have fuck you money, and she's a mess.
Yeah.
She can afford all the therapy she can book appointments for, but that doesn't make her okay, and it doesn't make the fact that her mom was a violent alcoholic and her dad was just an alcoholic. But they were, millionaires. She's a friggin' heiress. Between her and my brother, it's an absolute guess, but I know it's over 10 million, and I guess it's not dramatically less than 50 million that they're worth.
Yeah.
And she's a wreck. Her parents' generation grew up on a compound in Toledo, Ohio, where one whole generation of his family lived in this compound. And it wasn't walled off or anything, but it's private land, and there was so much of it within city limits that in order to avoid paying property taxes on, it's like 300 acres inside the city. In order to avoid paying property taxes on all of it, the Olympic-sized family swimming pool was made public for 3 days a week. The hiking trails and bridle trails are available to the public 3 days a week. So essentially, their land became a de facto city park for 3 days a week so that they didn't have to pay property taxes. They're loaded.
I'm not a pansy, Artemis. How dare you? I've just seen that chat. Yeah.
You can't even see the horse barn or the pool from any of the houses on this property.
There is a
Poxy
large
rich folk.
platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
Yeah, apparently her dad, when my brother and sister-in-law got married, offered to build them a house on the family land. And my brother, who didn't say it to him because he's not a disrespectful asshole, at least not openly, was hell no. Oh wait, not their engagement party, but the rehearsal dinner, the night before their wedding, was held at the family clubhouse, which had seating for 350 people.
Jeez, man. I wish I had that kind of money.
Yeah, I wish I had 5% of it. That 1% of it wouldn't suck.
Oh, too right, mate.
1% is only $150,000. And I have friends that say, "Well, why don't you just ask your brother for some money?"
It don't work like that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons it doesn't work like that, but not least of which is, alright, this is the kind of thing that will piss off my brother. This is part of the reason they still have tens of millions of dollars. My niece, the one that's in college, is going to a private university that's got like 1,800 students.
Now. You've been detected.
And she has an academic free ride. Her tuition is paid for, and almost all of her room and board is paid for. I think my brother and sister-in-law end up paying something less than $5,000 a year for my niece to go to a school that would otherwise cost closer to $50,000 a year. And he's mad because I don't know what in this country it's called clept out. When she graduated from high school, she had enough college credit hours that she was already, her first semester, she was already a second semester freshman. So by Christmas of her first year of college, she was already a sophomore.
I'm detecting a large security force heading your way.
She's decided that even after she graduates, she wants to stay and take that last semester so she can be there when her friends graduate. And my brother has a problem with that because that won't be covered by her scholarship. So that one semester will end up costing him like 23 grand or some shit. So my brother and sister-in-law, who have millions, are upset about the fact that they might have to throw an extra $23K at their daughter's graduation. That's how you get to stay a millionaire.
Well, I was discussing it with someone while I at where I work, and yeah, we kind of agreed the people with money are the people that are most freaking stingy with it.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't spend it. That's why the whole notion of if you give tax breaks to the rich, it'll help the economy. No, it won't. No, it friggin' won't. They don't spend it. They don't spend it on employees. They don't spend it on products. My brother, because of the new tax law, will save over $100,000 in income taxes. Jeez. He doesn't have a job. He's been retired for 2.5 years.
Jeez, man.
He's gonna save $100,000 on his income tax. Shit. Talk about making sure the money ends up in the right hands.
Yeah.
And I thought all these years that he was a diehard Republican because when we were still living together, he and I were both still Republicans, and he was a little more committed than I was. So I had kind of assumed that he had continued to be a Republican, even though he married an obvious liberal in his wife, whom I love, don't get me wrong. We just have different notions of how I wish my nieces had been raised. But he's not a Republican. He's a fiscal. He's more like me than I'm willing to admit, and probably far more like me than he's willing to admit. In that I'm a fiscal conservative and a social liberal. And when I say fiscal conservative, I mean things like it's cheaper for us to all have government insurance than it is for us to have private insurance subsidized in any way, in any shape or form, and have private insurance doing it. Because that means that there's money being wasted that go to nothing but profits.
Yeah.
And if it's all run by the government, even if it's shite, it's going to be cheaper. And we can hire, if we eliminate private insurance, or most of it, we can hire all these people that are familiar with the industry to run the government arm of that.
Yeah.
Which seems like there's got to be a huge talent pool available, because insurance makes a ton of money in this country. And same brother that, did I tell you the story about my brother and Donald Trump?
No.
My sister-in-law told me this, and I hadn't heard it. My brother doesn't talk about his work much because he was a securities analyst, and he had a portfolio, an investment portfolio that was more than a couple $2 billion. And he got a call in the mid-late 90s from someone, a board member at Trump Industries. And they were trying to get investment capital. So my brother takes his first phone call at, according to my sister-in-law, it was 8:01 a.m. when my brother started work at 8. But whatever, it was first call of the day. It was from somebody on the board. And my brother said, okay, well, give me a couple of hours, and I'll look over your company and give you a preliminary decision as to whether or not I'm remotely interested in going forward and even considering it, or we'll just end it and we can all walk away and get on with our lives. And my brother goes over whatever it is that somebody in his job looks over, the financials, and decides that there is no way he is investing any money in Trump Industries because they're debt heavy and cash light, and they spend a lot of money in lawsuits because they're not paying bills, and he's like, the potential for them to screw investors was way too high.
Yeah.
And my brother worked with public funds, so there was no way he was going to do that. He took 6 more calls from people with inside that organization that day. And the whole time, Donald Trump is sitting in his plane on the tarmac at the local airport, waiting for my brother to say yes, so that he can drive to my brother's office to sign paperwork.
Happy days.
It never happened. He sat on the tarmac until my brother had exhausted everybody, and they finally stopped calling him, and everybody went home. That was 20 years ago. The man is a piece of shit. He's always been a piece of shit. He's always been a scam artist and a shit businessman who made money off the backs of people that he just refused to pay.
Pretty much every business person nowadays.
Well, no, he's special because he will actually, he'll create a subsidiary, have that subsidiary sign a contract with a contractor or anybody, and then when it comes time to pay the bill to that person, he'll file bankruptcy and dissolve that company. That's why it was so funny that his attorney made the comment that he still hadn't been reimbursed by Trump for the $130,000 that he paid to Stormy. He's never going to see that fucking money, and he knows damn well.
No, definitely not.
Trump doesn't pay his bills. And the person you would think that would know that the best, damn attorney, who now thinks he's going to get paid his $130K. Good luck. Remember all those bankruptcies you filed so he didn't have to pay his bills? You're one of them, dickhead. The amount of people that say, "Oh, you just hate him because he's successful," or "You hate him because he's this or that." It's like, no. I thought he was a piece of shit since the '80s. And the stories I heard about him that I won't repeat just because I can't say as I believe any of them are necessarily true. Although the more shit I keep hearing, the more likely it is. It's kind of like Bill Cosby, that there's only so many rape allegations you can hear before you start to think that the first one you heard was probably true.
Oh, yeah. Well, Neptune, sod that. Infestation, no, sod that. Oh, someone's being a grammar Nazi in the chat. Oh. Yeah, also, I might have to just buy you for just being a grammar Nazi.
Wait, in this chat? I'm not seeing anything in the chat.
Not in the Twitch chat, in the YouTube chat, because I'm I'm simulcasting to both. But I'm on my my gaming channel on YouTube.
What the hell is that?
Gaming Triax 666 Gaming.
Yeah, I had the one I had up earlier.
I think so, yeah.
Doesn't it come up? Is that still live, or did you just have somebody comment on it?
No, watch it. I'm streaming on both Twitch and YouTube at the moment.
How clever are you? Why isn't it still showing up? Why isn't it still showing up? Boop.
Ugh, mobile defense, no thank you.
Everything in orders, operator? Is that a pun? I will attempt to bypass this vault.
Leveling up my weapons. Well, ugh, it's so slow. God damn it.
Oh, wait a minute. Is it? It's Triax Gaming?
Yeah, let me see if I can send you the link to it. Cause
I'll find it.
It's probably I did share it out on my on Twitter.
Oh, there it is. Look, I subbed.
Yay! I have a fan at last. No, I've probably got a couple on there now. Yeah, I did invite Clever Jester or on
wait a minute.
On the on the Hangout, but he's
This is chaîne sera une chaîne gaming avec une bonne ambiance.
You what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What foreign language have you got it set on, man? If that's If that's French, that's disgusting.
Pretty sure that's French. I don't speak French, so my pronunciations were all horrible, I'm certain.
Yeah, no sane person on this planet speaks French. Ugh. Dirty. Dirty French.
It's like it's one of my favorite Steve Martin jokes. It's like those French don't have the decency to speak English.
Yeah, too fucking right.
Got a different word for everything.
No, it's just because they're gay.
Alright. That didn't work, hang on.
Survival, sabotage, defense, spy. No, I don't want to spy.
TRIAXE. 666. Or no, gaming.
Let's see if I can send you that link.
TRIAX Gaming. Do you have just kind of a lame logo?
What?
Does the Triax Gaming channel have kind of a lame logo?
It probably does. Yeah, I haven't done anything to it, except for...
This is like a black, mostly circle with just Triax Gaming printed in the center.
No.
18 subs, 13 videos.
Oh, hell no. I haven't done that many. Let me just go to my channel and see if I can...
Alright, so maybe...
Go onto my channel.
Without the space.
Copy.
No, I get the same shit.
Let me see if I can put it on there. Just put it on the side chat.
Tenno, there's a time-limited mission alert available. Check navigation.
Kids and your technologies.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about what's the new what's the new pirate game?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but some treasury thingy.
I was thinking I might be interested in playing that.
Yeah, I've been kind of holding off on that thing. Yeah, I don't want to spend it. Well, it's an early access, and I've had so many bad run-ins with that early access. I just can't be fucked with them anymore.
But it's the same company that does what's the knockoff shooter game?
All of them?
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
Good point. Yeah, my brain is for shit. I was thinking it was the same developer as somebody who'd just done a knockoff of... What's the game where you get dropped out of a plane?
Oh, PUBG?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about now, but I can't remember the name of it. Fortnite, there you go.
Yeah, isn't that the same developer?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. Probably.
I thought it was. The art style is definitely the same. Yeah, dude, for whatever reason, the stream on YouTube isn't showing up on my phone. It shows up on my computer, and I can't do both.
Yeah, strange.
Oh, man.
Ugh. Damn logs.
Yeah, the newest video that I can find. I was just watching us on this channel, but now the newest video I can find is 2 months ago.
What, on my channel?
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe
Oh no, it's my gaming channel, not on my usual channel.
Aha! Alright, I found it. I'm still trying to get Poisoning the Well to play like Madden or some sports game.
Yeah, I doubt that's gonna happen.
Well, I just want... I think it would be so much more entertaining if they were playing a game where they could talk shit during the game rather than playing a game that requires them to pay attention. It's like...
PCW, pay attention to anything? Never.
Well, I mean, American sports kind of lend themselves, aside from basketball, kind of lend themselves to long moments of commentary. Because of breaks between action. And I just think it would be more fun to watch those guys play those games, even if they sucked at them. Especially if they sucked at them, frankly, because if you put Fane and Pat on the same, even if it's FIFA, put them on the same, that football, or American football, or baseball, or basketball, you put them on the same team, they're going to be screaming at each other for every time they fuck up. And that is so much more entertaining than watching either of them stare at the screen while they make their way through one portion of one gameplay. I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on anybody, but it would, for them anyway, it seems to me it would be way more entertaining for them to be entertaining while they play rather than entertaining as they play. Actually, that's I put that horribly. It would be more fun if they would talk more shit, and there isn't time for them to talk shit while they're playing. Are they playing Destiny or whatever it is?
Oh, they're playing Overwatch. Ugh.
Yeah, and that game is just hard to watch. the screen moves too much.
Whoa.
You can't keep
Major
track of the player. I'm sure it's a lot of fun to play, and it must be because everybody gets so quiet while they're playing
You've
it.
been locked out. Let's
The other
override
night was
security.
hysterical because Beer Adventure Diaries, Lisa, she was hammered and her mic was live, and she's like me, the more intoxicated she is, the less she's capable of shutting her mouth. So she can play that game and talk and be funny, and it turned out that she was the only one on that stream that could. And that was like the third time I'd realized that this isn't the game they ought to be playing. They ought to be playing a game that they understand that there are rules they can follow and strategies that they can all agree upon that work, and so that they can bitch and scream at each other about doing something stupid or making a stupid decision, or you shouldn't have done a through ball, you should have squared, or, you know, something.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Jester on this game at some point.
It's just the level of stupid that I wish they would participate in, and I realize that they play that game because that's what Jester plays, and he's always been the inspiration for them to do a game night at all. And I'm not shit-talking Jester because he's a good kid and I love him a lot, but he's gotten so serious about that damn game on his Twitch channel that I can't watch it anymore. I watch it on the weekends because he plays something other than that damn game.
I think he's trying to get pro at it, though. That's the thing.
I think so too, and he's stopped being entertaining as a content creator. He's just a gamer now, and I don't care about gamers.
Is he a content creator?
Well, it's what he's doing is Twitch content. Like, I don't know what's Twitch. What do you call it? What's Twitch? People who post Twitch videos.
Just a Twitch streamer.
Yeah. Okay. He's become more interested in being a competent gamer and Twitch streamer than being entertaining, and that's where it loses me. And to play a game that's so hard to watch somebody else play, just don't watch your shit anymore. And I kind of feel bad about it, but I'll watch him play almost any other game just because he's not playing that damn game. I do want to get to Atlanta. I want to hang out with those guys so bad. I kind of have an open invitation for Tanuki and I to go hang out and stay at Ben's house.
Oh yeah.
But I've got the dogs, and he has his dogs, and before I had Eddie, I wouldn't have worried about Shorty being around any kind of dog. But Eddie's a little, I don't know him that well. I think I can control him, but I only think that I can control him. And Fane's got friggin' Pomeranians.
Oh my god.
And those are just barking cats, and I don't... I know he's a loving dog dad, but I don't know...
What was that?
I don't know what kind of a rule maker he is. So I don't know if his dogs are... I don't know much about his dogs, other than the fact that they're cute as shit, and I do nothing but give him hell about raising barking cats. Andy keeps talking about the fact that, you know, he's secure in his sexuality because he doesn't.
Yeah, no one should be secure in their sexuality with that kind of dog, man.
If you're so secure in your sexuality that you're a straight man who carries around their dog in their purse.
Another successful mission.
Oh,
Find extraction.
Yappy dogs. Ugh.
You might have officially achieved 2 straight. I did go through in my early 20s I went through the "my dog is butch, so I'm butch" phase. I had a Shepherd Wolf hybrid for a short while until he jumped through my screen, and when I was living in LA, left a Shepherd Wolf size hole in my living room screen. That was the last evidence of him having been in the house was just a trace of dog hair stuck to the screen and next to the hole that he made escaping the house. And funny part of me having a Shepherd Wolf was that we were living in in fact, I wanted to bring this up the other day when you were talking about how crappy your apartment is. I was living in a basement apartment with my son's mom while she was pregnant. And this Shepherd Wolf, and the basement flooded, which meant that our apartment flooded to the point that I opened up the sliding glass door in our living room to let the water run out.
Oh yeah.
And our apartment was small and didn't even occupy the whole basement because one half of the basement that our apartment didn't occupy flooded all the time.
Jeez, man, look at that.
So when you talk about mold being an issue, that we lived in that apartment for 19 months, I think, something like that. And it flooded. The whole basement flooded 4 times in that span. And the other half of the basement flooded once a month.
Fucking hell, man.
So we were literally a piece of drywall away from standing water once a month.
Yeah.
And then the guys that lived upstairs, I had this little Shepherd Wolf puppy, and the guys upstairs who are screaming white trash, nice enough guys, but just screaming white trash, said that the one guy said, I was going to get a Rottweiler puppy, but I was afraid it would kill your dog. And I'm like, dude, my dog is more than half wolf. You think a Rottweiler is going to kill a wolf?
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Rottweiler's a dog. A wolf is a fucking wolf!
Everything in orders, operator? Is that a pun?
I'm not even sure I can say that was the worst place I've ever lived. I think the last house I lived in was probably the most dangerous place I ever lived.
Well, happy days.
But as far as health concerns and just being an absolute shit place to be, that basement apartment was horrifying. And then we moved from that place to LA, and we had cockroaches bad enough that I would have to pull a plate out of the cabinet and blow the cockroach shit off of it before I could use it. And my landlord said that the reason we had cockroaches was because I didn't clean up the dog shit in my backyard. Like, dude, if they're attracted to dog shit, why are they coming in the house? Sudden silence. He's also part of one of my favorite stories. When I moved, he was just an absolute slumlord, and nobody who rented from him had his actual address. All we had was a PO box, and he was just an ass. He had hardworking, rent-paying Americans living in his properties, and he just treated all of us like shit. And
isn't that like every landlord going though?
Nah, every landlord. Some of the people I've rented homes from were really good people. This guy just was the worst of all of them. But because he was such a dick, he sent me. First, he committed mail fraud. He tried to collect more of my deposit than the receipts that I were mailed accounted for, because among other things, he was charging me for not just the blinds in my house that were ruined by the shepherd wolf jumping through the window, but more blinds than were even in my apartment.
That'll do it.
So the blinds in the bedroom, which were fine, the blinds in the spare bedroom, which were fine, 2 sets of blinds in the kitchen, and another set of blinds in the living room, plus 2 more. So he sent me, he had redacted a bill so that I couldn't see his actual address from the person that had installed the new blinds. Except that he didn't send me a photocopy, he sent me the original. So I could easily read his actual address. So I got a hold of one of the old neighbors who also rented from him. At the time, rented concurrently with him. And I said, I have his address. And he's like, oh, fuck. Give me his address. And I said, this was before email. I had written him a letter. And said, enclosed you will find a check written to you for $20. Go buy paint in whatever color you want to, and in my honor, throw that can of paint through his window, and use the rest to buy yourself beer if there's any left over. And he sent me back a $20 bill and a photograph of, he had taken the brightest blue paint that he could find, taken the lid off of it and thrown it through a picture window of this guy's living room. And he had white carpet, and he had white leather furniture, and the room was white, and the curtains were white, and this friend of mine was not white, and all of that pissed him off. And you could see that when he threw the can of paint through the window, it was spinning because there was paint everywhere on everything. And he sent me back my $20, and he said, you have no idea how good that was. He said it was a great idea, so I went through with it. Like, here's your $20. I don't want your money. And, as it turns out, which was even better, the landlord had just left for vacation the day before and didn't get back for 2 weeks, so everything was ruined. All that white leather furniture just ruined. Dick. He was renting to people that were everything that he thought we were, except that we paid him the money he was due and deserved to be treated like people that paid their rent. But we were all, in one way or another, pieces of shit. And he had no idea how big of pieces of shit we were. Jimmy, the guy that threw the paint through the window, he had been what are they? Latin Kings. He was a Latin king. A huge Hispanic gang in LA when he was a kid. Which is where the dead guy in my backyard story came from. Have I told you that story?
Don't believe so, mate.
I woke up one morning and the Orange County Sheriff's Department was at my door asking me if I knew anything about the dead body in my backyard. Of course my answer was no, but I knew exactly how and when that guy died.
Yeah, don't say anything.
I won't use anybody's names that anybody will be able to track down, but Jimmy, the guy next door, the one that threw the paint, he had gotten notification from his little brother, who was still a Latin king, that they were coming for him because he had left the gang. It was a blood in, blood out thing. And he was living with 2 women, and he had a Chihuahua. And the week before the incident, somebody had drowned his Chihuahua in a bucket of water on his front stoop. He literally opened up his front door to go to work, and his Chihuahua was floating dead in a bucket of water. And that day, he got a call from his brother, said they're coming. So he sent the girls to go live with a friend and let me know, because I was living in the other half of he and I shared a duplex, and my buddy Craig, who lived next door, and I can't remember the other guy's name that lived across the street. Let them know that he would call their houses and let the phone ring once and hang up when shit was happening. And we all got that phone call, and my instructions were, because I didn't have a gun, was just sleep on the floor. Once I got that phone, once the phone rang once, just whatever I was doing, go lay on the floor. So I'm laying on the floor, and I hear, it's California, my window's open, and this guy is trying to climb a 6-foot cinder block wall that's all of about 4 feet beyond my bedroom window. And he took 3 shots from 3 different guns, and then fell into my backyard. He was shot by Jimmy, he was shot by Greg, and he was shot by the guy across the street, all within like 4 seconds. While he's still at the top of the wall, all 3 of them shot him. He was dead by the time he hit the ground. And that wasn't the last of the shooting, and it wasn't that guy didn't get a shot off, but there were some other people that did get shots
and they are
off.
on the run.
That weren't those 3 guys.
Find extraction.
But in the morning, the only real evidence was some bullet holes, and 3 of them in this dead dude that's laying in my backyard. Do you know anything about the dead guy in your backyard? No. Could you come and see if you can identify him? Like, sure, but I've only lived in this state for, I don't know, like 9 months at that point. I said, chances are it's not going to be true. And he was laying face down when they asked me to identify him anyway. I'm like, yeah, nope, got no clue.
Right,
and the thing that really sucked was that I couldn't let Rudy out, the dog that raised Pavlov. I couldn't let her outside because my backyard was a crime scene. So I had to put her on a leash and take her over to Craig's house to go shit in his backyard. And then he gave me hell because I didn't clean up the dog shit.
Oh, jeez, well, I'm gonna call it a night. What's it? The ending the stream there. So thank you for everyone who came along, and I will see you later.
Take care.